And getting over that guilt really helped me, and not feeling bad that why am I feeling jealous, or why am I comparing myself with others, because the truth is that it's part of our human nature. As long as we're in this flesh, we're always going to have points where we feel jealous of someone, or where we compare ourselves to others. But the important thing here is being self-aware, like I mentioned earlier, and taking the active steps, being proactive to fight that spirit of jealousy, to fight that spirit of comparison. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those that don't know me, my name is Olaoluwa Oluwashade, and in today's video we're going to be having a conversation, and the title is on battling with jealousy and comparison, and just letting you know that you're not alone. So I'm just going to start this conversation with a brief story on how I believe comparison started within me. And just, I won't say a disclaimer, but just to give a heads up, everything I'm talking about is based on my own experience. So there might be some things that I'm talking about that you don't really resonate with, but that's fine. Again, it's my own experience. So I'm just going to start with the story. I would say that it started, or ever since I was young. Let me start with that. Ever since I was young, I have always been an intelligent child, and the educational system let me just speak about the educational system in Nigeria. So when I was in primary school, let me start with that. The way the educational system is that they always had first, second, and third place. Let me just start with that, the positions. That's the only thing I'm going to touch on in regards to the educational system. So they had first, second, and third positions, and obviously students who did well, they'll be in first place. Those who did very well, second place, third place. Then they had up onto the last place. So if you are 40 in your class, they had all the positions. So I think for me, and you find students being placed in last position, can see that they feel bad about themselves, and this position placement is from, I think it's actually, let me say, from primary school. So when you're maybe 5 years old, they're already putting you in positions of, in quotes, how smart you are or how well you're doing in school. So I think for me, I was always in first, second, third, and because of the positions and how competitive it was, I started putting pressure on myself to always stay in that first, second, and third position. So if I see that I have gone below that position, the person that went up in my own position, I start comparing myself, if that makes sense. So I'll say that's how it started for me. And even in high school as well, they even had things like a star student, so the person that did very well in school. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to recognize students for doing well, but the thing is that when you're placing them in positions, and the other students who are in the low positions, obviously they would feel bad about themselves. So that is how comparison started with me. If I do well in a certain class, I want to do well again because I don't want to go below that position. But if I see that someone is doing well, that competition starts, and it was an unhealthy competition for me. And I think eventually, as the years went on, I just started to focus on myself, focus on what I want to do, and not be comparing myself with others and trying to do better than others. I should try to do well for myself. And anyway, I would say that's how it started. And fast forward to coming here for university and just being in an environment where, yes, they recognize you for doing well in a class or doing well overall, like they have dean's list and things like that, but they don't paste your positions where everyone can see. So it's only you that knows how well you're doing, unless you want to tell someone about it. But because of how like the experience I had in primary school with the unhealthy competition, always trying to be on top, which is a good thing, but compare myself and feeling bad about myself if someone goes ahead of me, which it shouldn't be like that. But because of that experience I had in high school, I did not know, but unconsciously manifested when I got here as well. And even though they don't put positions anywhere, I unconsciously was comparing myself with others with other things like let me see an example I could give. Maybe if they're in a leadership position, I'll be like, oh, I want to be there. Or if they are just doing something good, even if it doesn't relate to what I'm doing, I'm just comparing myself with them. And that is what happened. That's what I was see. With the rise of LinkedIn now, let me start with that. With the rise of LinkedIn now, I also realized that, because I spoke to other people about this, with the rise of LinkedIn now, that comparison has gone to another level. And even with social media and things like that, where you're desiring things that are not desiring things that other people have and you don't have at the moment. But with LinkedIn, let me just talk about like not business, but the professional side. For LinkedIn, everyone posts their achievements on it. That's it. But these are when you constantly are watching people's for me, when I was constantly watching people posting like, oh, I'm honored to be in this position, I had the privilege to go for this and this, that comparison came again. Even jealousy came again. So what I had to do at a point, I actually had to take a break. But that was just for me. I had to take a break from LinkedIn and from other social media platforms, because I could find myself comparing my journey with their own, or feeling bad about myself, or even feeling jealous about it. So and I know a lot of other people I have spoken to, and I have seen it in other people, that social media generally, people always want to post good things on social media. They don't want to post the bad things they're going through. So they're not showing their whole life. They're not showing the good things that are happening. So people tend to compare their own bad journey with someone's good journey, or someone that is blossoming and things like that. So anyways, I'm now going to talk about how I have been able to overcome that jealousy, the comparison, and how I am still overcoming it. The first thing that I would say helped me was being self-aware and not being in denial. So being self-aware that I'm actually jealous of this person, or I'm comparing myself with different people. So I had to break out from that denial that I'm not jealous of anyone, I'm not comparing myself, in order for me to be able to start working on fighting that spirit of jealousy, that comparison and all. And another thing that helped me was also being confident in myself, being confident in who I am, knowing who I am. That was the most important thing. Knowing who I am, knowing my strengths, knowing my weaknesses, knowing the things I like, knowing what I can do, knowing the things that I am good at, knowing the things I should not even touch at all, and things I enjoy doing, and just knowing who I am, knowing my identity. That was another aspect that really helped me. The third thing, the third aspect that helped me to overcome it was understanding that my journey is different. My journey is different from others. We're not on the same journey. Our process is going to be different. And even give an example, if I am not if I'm just because someone is doing well in something doesn't mean that I should do exactly the same thing that they're doing. For example, if someone is doing well, the person is a scientist, is doing well in science, and me, I'm in business, I shouldn't be desiring what they are doing. I should focus on myself, focus on what I'm doing, because our journey is different. So that was what I had to work on, just understanding that my journey is not the same as you. You're doing well in what you're doing, that's very good for you, but that doesn't mean that I have to do exactly the same thing. And this is just me talking to myself, not even about any other person. It's just you focusing on yourself and understanding that your journey is different. Then in the same aspect of your journey is different, I also wanted to add that if the example I gave earlier about me doing someone doing science, I'm doing business. Obviously, I'm not meant to do exactly what they are doing. But if I find techniques that they're using, systems that they have, good habits that I would want to emulate. There's nothing wrong with that. But just not trying to do exactly the same thing, because it doesn't even make sense. You're not in the same department, so you can't even do exactly the same thing. So if there are good habits that you admire from them, the systems that they follow that work for them, you can try to emulate that, but in your own field. So that's what I'm trying to say. But on the other hand, if there is someone who is doing exactly the same thing that you're doing, exactly the same thing that you want to do, and you are passionate about that thing, that should not stop you from doing it. Just because someone else is doing something that you're doing, that doesn't mean that, okay, the person is already doing that, I should focus on another thing. Your target audience might be different. You might not be focusing on the same people you're trying to help, but in whatever the results that you're trying to achieve, it might not be the same for both of you. Because I know for me, there were certain things that I wanted to do, but because I saw other people doing it, I decided to hold back, and that delay can limit you from achieving the goals you wanted to achieve. Doesn't have to be material things. Just, for example, maybe building your confidence in that aspect, being more learned in that aspect, just certain things like that. So just because, I'm going to say it again, just because someone else is doing something that you also want to do, that doesn't mean you should not do it anymore. You can still do it if you're passionate about it, and the results will vary. I hope that makes sense. I don't even know the number I'm on right now. Maybe 5. But one other thing that helped me was embracing the season where nothing is happening, where it seems like nothing is happening. Like maybe you're not going for all these activities. Maybe you don't have internships, you don't have like opportunities, you're not going for activities, it just seems quiet. But using that season to work on yourself. There's this podcast I listen to, it's called To My Sisters, and they always talk about different seasons and the way they break it down. They talk about the winter season, the summer, the spring, they talk about that, but specifically about the summer and the winter, or for others you could say the rainy season or the dry season. So the rainy season being the season where everything is blossoming, you're doing your best, everything is working well, and the dry season is where it seems like nothing is happening. So what they said in summary was to embrace both seasons. Don't discard the season where it feels like nothing is happening. That should be the time where we work on ourselves, personal development, professional development, work on the skills that we want to achieve, so that when the raining season or the summer season, which is the season that where everything is blossoming, is showing outwardly, that it's blossoming, we already have the skills to move, to progress quickly, so we don't have to use that season of blossoming to start working on those skills. Yeah, if that makes sense. Then the next point I have is fighting the battle in your mind. That is a huge thing for me. Just fighting the battle in your mind, that can even be a whole other video, just talking about how to remove the negative, not even remove because it always comes, but to be able to reduce the negative self-talk, to reduce the self-pity that is holding you back from achieving or going to the full potential. Because I know I'm talking based on my own personal experience, especially with self-pity. Feel like maybe people already have opportunities that you don't have, so because of that you feel like, I felt like because they had that, I'm trying to see how I would say it, because I had that, I felt like I won't be able to achieve the way they are achieving. This still falls down to comparison. So just removing, and I eventually realized that that was not my own voice, just the lies of the enemy trying to pull me down. But just self-pity is really dangerous, because you are the one that is trying to make an excuse for you to not do something, to not achieve a goal because you feel like you're not worthy, or you feel like you don't have the capability to achieve it, which is a lie. So just fighting that battle in your mind, the negative self-talk, the voice telling you that you're not good enough. And one thing that helped me in that aspect was building good habits. Building good habits. Things that I started doing recently was journaling, being able to sit down with my thoughts and write down how I feel, how did my day go. Also use it as an opportunity to talk to God about how I've been feeling. When it comes, maybe I am comparing myself with others, just writing positive things that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, I'm a child of God, things like that. And even other things like working out, just doing activities, building good habits that would help you change your mindset, have a good mindset. So that's another one that helped me and is still helping me. Okay. Then another point I have that helped me was, or is, getting over the guilt that you feel when you get jealous or when you're comparing yourself with others. And getting over that guilt really helped me, and not feeling bad that why am I feeling jealous or why am I comparing myself with others, because the truth is that it's part of our human nature. As long as we're in this flesh, we're always going to have points where we feel jealous of someone, or where we compare ourselves to others. But the important thing here is being self-aware, like I mentioned earlier, and taking the active steps, being proactive to fight that spirit of jealousy, to fight that spirit of comparison. And the thing is, once you are aware of it and you're taking active measures, with time it just goes, it fades away. It might still come up sometimes because, again, we have that human nature, we still are in that flesh, but you just realize that you don't really get jealous again. You understand that everyone's journey is different. You understand my purpose is different from that of the others. And yeah, just like I said, not getting guilty, not feeling guilty about things like that, just being self-aware. Then I'll say finally, the final point I have is that helped me. The final point I have was, or is, my faith. That has been a big aspect that helped me. There's this scripture I always love repeating, is Galatians 2 verse 20. Yes, that I myself no longer live, but Christ lives in me. I live my life in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of Man who died for me, who loved me and gave himself for me. So just understanding that, again, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. The plan that God has for me is different from that of other people, and God has great plans for each and every one. No one is better than another person. Our journey is just different. There might be points where it seems like it's similar, but in the end it's completely different. So just understanding that, and just focusing on myself, focusing on keeping my eyes on Jesus, keeping my eyes on what do I need to do? How can I live like him? What things that I need to do? And with time, it just comes naturally that all these things, all these struggles with jealousy, comparison, and other things, it just fades away. It just starts going away because your eyes are focused on what is important. Your eyes are focused on Jesus. And that has been a major aspect. That's even the most important out of all of this that has actually helped me, because that is where my identity lies in. And as you know your identity, as you know who you are, all these other things start being revealed, all the things that you need to work on, all the things that that you're constantly fighting against. So that was a huge aspect that helped me overcome the spirit of jealousy, the spirit of comparison. And yeah, that's the final point. So yes, that is what I have. I hope this helps you. And before I go, I just want to also mention that give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Take each day as it comes. It is a process. This process of healing, it's a process. It's a journey. Even in your old age, people who are in their old age, that's what I'm saying, they can get jealous of someone, they can compare themselves to someone, because as you're still in your flesh is going to come about. But things that, being, like I said, being self-aware, understanding that, okay, this is actually a struggle for me and I need to start working on it. And as you start taking those steps and working on it, you get better. But give yourself grace. It doesn't happen the next day. Immediately you start I cannot jealous of anyone. And I also want to mention, you should not make the mistake, because I did this at a point, making the mistake of, because you want to make yourself feel better, in your mind you put other people beneath you. So for example, if I am trying to feel better in a certain area I'm not really good at, maybe I'm looking for someone else who is not as good as me, so that is helping me build my self-esteem, and that is very wrong. Don't do that at all, because no one is better than the other person, no one is beneath anyone, no one is higher than anyone. We're all equal. That's as human beings. Obviously there are different authorities where it is of evidence that, okay, this person is higher than me in this position, but that is the title. But as human beings, we're all equal to one another. And yeah, just give yourself grace, take each day as it comes, but be self-aware, be aware of what is happening, be aware of the struggles that you have. And I just pray for everyone that they just become more self-aware and understand who they are in Christ, that they take the active steps to fight that spirit of jealousy, that spirit of comparison, and know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. Know that they are made in the image of God, so they are, the way they are is good. There's no one that is higher than them. And even with social media platforms, with all the platforms that make you think that someone else is better than you, may your eyes be open to see that you are great just the way you are. You don't need to change yourself or anyone. You don't need the validation from the world. That's another huge part. You don't need the validation from the world. You don't need to have all these material things around you to make yourself feel better about yourself. But as long as you're made in the image of God, you are good, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And in Jesus' name, amen. Yes, that's the end of my video. I hope this helped you, and I hope you got points from this. I know I was talking a lot, even though I said I had my notes, I was still just going off. But I hope this helped. For us to have a bit of an activity, drop in the comment section where comparison came about in your life. If you have any story on how comparison came about in your life and you want to share with others, just drop in the comment section and let other people see as well how you have been working on it, how you've been trying to overcome it. And yeah, that will be all for now, and I'll see you in a different video, or you see a vlog next. Okay, bye.